What's up? What's up, Ninja Village? Welcome to another episode of Car Chronicles Reviews with the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. I will be your host this evening, Scooter Ray, aka The Scoot. And what's Car Chronicles Reviews for the uninitiated? Well, that's where one or more of us ninjas talk about anything from movies, TV, gaming, conventions, events, and things like that. And as you can see on the screen here, we have the 1994 cult classic, The Crow, starring Brandon Lee. May he rest in peace. And as many of you knew, or know, or haven't been familiar, or anything of that nature, Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, he was tragically shot while doing the filming of said movie. And it became a cult classic. The stunt double had to finish the movie while they kind of, digitally impose Brandon Lee's face on the actor, but it became a bit of an urban legend that, about this movie. Well, that was 1994. And come 2024, we get a reimagining slash remake of The Crow starring Bill Skarsgård as Eric. Shout outs to Tyke B, Piranha, excuse me, and Cosmic Boss. They all in the chat. Hey, Mrs. Ladybug. Now, before I get into it, this kind of what we might start doing with our Car Chronicles reviews. We might go live on Twitch and YouTube to kind of, get the engagement going, get some more streams out there and things of that nature. So this might be a new format that y'all see with the CCRs with us less than stealthy ninjas. So let us know how you feel about it, think about it, and everything like that. But here we go. All right. So back to it. So The Crow 94 compared to The Crow 2024. So as you can see, the picture may not be the best, but here's a side-by-side Brandon Lee's Eric Draven and Bill Skarsgård's Eric. Because that was the funny thing about watching this movie. Nobody had last names in the 2024 remake. Nobody had a last name. Everybody went by their first name. There was no mention of last names or anything like that. And shout out to Tyke B because him and I saw this together. But as you can see, you have this whole drastic look. And funny enough, while I was like thinking about the looks, all I could think about it, I'm pretty sure Boss will agree with me on the look wise, and Tyke will agree with me on the look wise. All I could think about is, for the movie fans, Jared Leto's Joker was one, because he was unnecessarily tatted in this remake, unnecessarily tatted. And he also reminded me of DNC's Dante from the Devil May Cry reboot. So he had a little bit of that mixed in. Yes, Tyke, it was so unnecessary. It was a little bit of that mixed in, Joker and DNC's Dante. So let's get to it. If y'all don't remember, I'll remind y'all. 1994's Crow dealt with the fact that 4 henchmen who worked under, oh my God, I just forgot his name. 4 henchmen who worked under Top Dollar, which was T-Bird, 1010, Skank, and Fun Boy. The movie opens with us seeing Eric Draven and Shelley Webster. Yes, Eric Draven and Shelley Webster being murdered. And from that, you hear the story with the whole, well, that is also true, Boss. And you also hear the story about the whole, they say the Crow is the ferryman of carrying souls to the afterworld. And there are a few times where crows feel that things are just wrong that they got to put it right. In steps Draven being brought back to life, and his powers is essentially he's immortal until the right is put, until the wrong is right. He's immortal. and he sets off revenge, getting the 4 guys who did the murder. And then from there, we also meet this character who was his name in the movie Top Dollar, which you find out that the henchman worked on the Top Dollar, and it was a loose story that dealt with what the overall goal is, but it ended up turning into Draven had to kill them all. Now, the story was pretty much straightforward. It was simple. You also had Ernie Hudson, Sergeant Albright, who was kind of like the cop working the case, trying to figure things out. You also had Rochelle Davis's Sarah, who was the little girl that Eric and Shelly kind of look after when, you know, her mom was a little out there in these streets, we'll just say. But story was pretty much straightforward. It was violent for what it was. Yeah, they did have that weird incest sibling thing between Top Dollar and Balene's funny enough, Micah. But and you also had Tony Todd, who rounded out the cast of this movie as well. So it became a cult classic, and you know, and one of the questions I recently heard was, did it become a classic because of Brandon Lee's passing while filming? And some could say yes, some could say no, but it still is a legendary movie for what it was and what it did. Now, the thing is, only reason why my knowledge of this movie is so relevant because I just watched it. I watched it before I saw the remake / reboot. So that's why it's fresh in my head of what happened in The Crow. So don't take this as me just remembering from way back when. So the issue here was it's pretty straightforward, and that's the one thing we can appreciate about movies back in our day. Back in our day, in the 80s and 90s, everything was straightforward. We didn't need all this extra story. We didn't need all these extra things. It was just give us what it was, and boom, we'll take it for what it is. You didn't have to really explain things, overly explain it, give backstory, give motivation, give reasons. The reason was Eric Draven, Shelley Webster was married the day before their wedding, because they were set to get married on Halloween. They was married on Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween, and Draven wants revenge. That's it. And he got his revenge. Simple and plain. He got his revenge. He accomplished what he needed to accomplish, and at the end, he was reunited with Shelley. Boom, bam, boom. There's The Crow. Now, funny thing is, before the newest one came out, there were 3 other Crow movies and a TV show. Now, I knew about Crow, The City of Angels, which came out in 96. And I knew about excuse me. And I knew about the Crow TV show that came out in 98. What I did not know, there was the Crow Salvation that came out in 2000, and there was the Crow Wicked Prayer that came out in 05. Then, as I see, there was 2 unmade Crow movies, which one, The Crow 2037, that would have had Rob Zombie directed it, because it was supposed to be announced in August of 97, and Rob Zombie was supposed to make his directorial debut of making The Crow 2037. But then they said it just didn't, you know, it was, focus was shifted, and boom, it never happened. Then, funny enough, and yes, boss, there was, because I did research. And funny enough, there was supposed to be The Crow Lazarus that would have starred the late DMX. And that movie would have been about a rapper who chose to leave music, who was killed in the drive-by, he would have been reincarnated as the Crow to take revenge. And it went into production, but it just ultimately never happened. So we would have had 6 Crow movies. Yes, we would have had one starring DMX, but it just didn't happen. And after reading that, I kind of want to see the one with DMX now. I want to go to the multiverse where the exactly. I want to go to the multiverse where the DMX version came to fruition, because that actually sounds kind of fire. Like, that sounds fire. DMX as the Crow, sign me up. That sound like, you know what? DMX as the Crow sound like one of them spoof movies or spoof things you hear in a TV show. But then it's like, nah, that almost happened, fam. Like the Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious crossover. It almost happened, fam. But oh yeah, nah, that soundtrack would have been lit. DMX in the 2000s? Oh no, that soundtrack would have been stupid. It would have went stupid. So here we are, the year 2024. Once again, it's been 19 years since there has been a Crow movie, and they decide to make one starring Bill Skarsgård, and here we are with The Crow 2024. Now, I will say this, off rip, I cannot give this movie no more than a 2.5 to 3. And when I say 3, it's the lightest of 3s. Like, it's a strong 2.5 for sure, but it's the lightest of 3s. Upon watching this movie, it feels like one of those early 2000 straight to DVD movies, like the other 2 Crows, which I said was what? The Crow Salvation and the Crow Wicked Prayer. This felt like an early 2000s straight to DVD movie. Yeah, there was some production in there. The cinematography was okay, but other than that, it truly felt like a straight to DVD movie. And, you know, Taiki B co-signing it. Like, in all honesty, this movie probably should have went straight to streaming, if I'm truly being honest. Now, it's led by Bill Skarsgård's Eric and FKA Twigs's Shelly. Now, they told this weird kind of love story for like the first third of the movie about, you know, Eric being a screw. And funny enough, we don't even really get a lot of Eric's story. We get more story of Shelly than we really do of Eric. We just see an event happen with Eric when he was a kid, and we just see, in essence, he grew up a screw up. You know, shout outs to Biggie. But other than that, we don't really get too much story with Eric. Then, you know, we see that, because I don't want to give full spoilers, just in case people do want to see it. And you know what? Planet Nico called it best. They truly set up a bunch of nothing. They really set up a bunch of nothing. But so we see that something is going on in FKA Twigs', like I said, Shelly's life. They both end up in rehab. In essence, rehab. They escape rehab and they just go out and start living life. And I leaned over to Taiki and I said, why are they out here living life as if there wasn't people out there trying to kill Shelly? Because you do find out there are people looking for Shelly for reasons. Facts, Planet Nico. That was the weirdest rehab, because they was bullying, they was cussing at people, they was trying to get Eric to open up and everything. It was a cultish type rehab. He's not lying at all. Yes, they did make it seem more prisonish than a rehab, but they out and about living life as if there weren't people after Shelly, and of course, Shelly's past catch up to her, which y'all saw in the trailer, where they essentially kill him. Now, in this movie, they suffocate them both. That's going to be one of the spoilers. They suffocate them both. Then we see where Eric goes into. He goes into, in essence, if we really was to put it in perspective, purgatory. He goes into purgatory, and that's where he meets the wise man who just happens to be in purgatory. And it was like, hey, then that's when he gives the rundown of the whole the crow's supposed to be the ferryman of the soul, and when something is wrong and something that's just not right, it's a chance for that person to right the wrongs. And it's like, okay. Then we get here, and he gets brought back, and he in essence don't know what he's doing. I'm just putting it out there. He don't know what he's doing. And before he goes back, the guy tells him, hey, as long as you know what? Nico said it best. The guy basically was like, hey, player, you died. We need a favor. Go kill all the people. Because another story spoiler, I'm going to just say it. We do meet Danny Houston's, what was his name? Vincent Rogue. He's the only person who had a last name in this movie, by the way. Excuse me. We meet Vincent Rogue. And Vincent Rogue, they said he made a deal with the devil to stay whatever, and he has this weird power. And the ferryman was like, hey, go kill Rogue and all his people, because he's essentially a demon. And that's where the movie kind of lost me there, because it's like, wait, why are you introducing other supernatural elements other than the crow being invincible? Why do we have, in essence, a denizen of hell in this movie? But whatever. So he goes back, he starts to get revenge and everything. And that's where the movie gets weird, because once again, he don't know what he doing. If we're just putting it out there, he really does not know what the hell he's doing, because he wasn't built for this. He wasn't used to this. So it was like, okay, he's trying. Now, the difference between his powers, excuse me, and Brandon Lee's powers was, excuse me, sorry. Skarsgård's crow feels pain. So regardless of if he's shot, regardless of, I ain't going down yet. Whether he's shot, whatever, he still feels the pain. Now, the only difference is he's still invincible, but he feels the pain. The way they did Brandon Lee's crow, it kind of was more like, y'all can do whatever y'all do, but I'm still walking y'all down. That's the way it made it go. So there was some cool scenes here and there of him getting shot or him getting stabbed and him like reacting to it, but it was like whatever. So incidents happen, and screw it, I'm gonna just spoil some more of the story. He finds out what Shelly done that was so bad. So with him finding out what Shelly done was so bad, it made him doubt Shelly a little bit. And from that, he got bested. If you watch the trailer, that part where he got shot with the shotgun, he got bested. He went back to the underworld, well, the purgatory, and the dude was like, hey, you messed up, player. So since you messed up, that's it. This fool proceeds to say, well, hey, how about this? My life for hers. If I get this accomplished, you bring her back, and I'll go with basically she's at or whatever. And the dude was like, "You sure, Playboy?" And he was like, "Yes, I love her just that much that I would rather she be here and I be there." Then one of the wildest things, wildest, yeah, you got to add that emphasis on the W, wildest thing starts to happen. After he makes the deal in the pact, old buddy proceeds to give him new powers in a sense. So I leaned over to Taiki again and I was like, why could he get that the first time around? You didn't sent that man to, in essence, to go die, and now you just upgrade him towards the end of the movie. Fine, whatever. Now, this is the reason why this movie gets a good 3 from me. The opera scene. You saw previews, you saw bits and pieces of it in the trailer. The opera scene saves this movie 100%. That's what it was, Nico. He was missing the W. The opera scene saves this movie. It was a good, bloody, good of the time. I like that. I like that. He was the crow without the dub. I like that. I like that. But yes, the opera scene saved the movie. It if you literally was to just yeah, it pretty much was all in the trailer. If you was to just find that whole sequence and watch that, that's pretty much all you have to see. You don't really have to see nothing else in this movie unless you just love you some Bill Skarsgård and you just want to see him, or you just love some FKA Twigs and really want to see her. But if you literally just find that opera scene and just watch that, that's all you need to see. Straight up, all you need to see. Because the rest of it was not worth it. And of course, it wraps up, boom, 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 movie. Like, movie. This is truly an example of why Hollywood really needs to leave shit alone. Like, that was one of the things Taiki and I was talking about. We was like, this movie was really not needed. It really wasn't needed. It wasn't, it did nothing. Like, I would have had rather this been like the other Crow movies where an injustice happened and boom, the wrong had to be right. It didn't necessarily need to be a remake or retelling of the first one. And with it looking so just, it, like I said before, hold on, it gave off this. Like, it gave off that, seeing him, because like it was so jaunting at times because they would have these close-up and things, and it's like he is just tatted for no reason. Like, him being the way he was, all tatted and weird and emo-esque and everything, it wasn't explained at all. Like, at all. It was just like somebody went into a creator mode and just went crazy. Like, it was just like, we got no story of why he was the way, because at least in 94's Crow, we knew he was a rock star. Yeah, as you can see above the eyebrow, it just said lullaby for reasons. Then like there was times you get a glimpse of some of the tattoos and you're just like, oh, so yeah, we just here. We're really just here. But there was like, if they was going to go the route with one to tell more story, they should have literally gave us a story of why Eric was the way he was. Like, literally. But this was a prime example of Hollywood just wanting to cash in on something. I understand it's been 30 years since the original, But where were y'all going with this? Like, where were y'all going? What were y'all doing? Like, and funny thing is, the funny thing, hold on, before I even get to that, yes, the horse thing was his only backstory. The funny thing is about all of this, in essence, the way they ended the movie, it could be set up for sequels. It could be a sequel set up from this, which makes it even more funnier. I mean, I doubt if this movie truly gets the money it's going to get to possibly make a sequel. And if it do, color me impressed. But it set it up to where there could be sequels, which is madness. Wild. But hey, we're here. But yeah, if I had to give which is also kind of funny because he did make that deal, and you know they're gonna try to find a way to rectify it. Like there's gonna be some loophole. There's gonna be some loophole because they did make it seem like he was supposed to go to the he was supposed to go to the deepest, darkest parts of hell, but it looked like he was just walking the purgatory like nothing. Like, hey, I guess this is where I chill now. They should have had, because at least he went on to direct John Wick's. You are absolutely right, boss. At least he went on to make John Wick's. But nah, they ain't even do that. But yeah, it missed the mark on everything. It really missed the mark on everything. Like, the only true redeeming factor of this movie was the opera scene. And once again, I understand we know what happened with the original, but if we're looking at the original compared to this one, the original is a masterpiece. Like, there is no reason to watch 2024 versions if we can still get our hands on the 94 version. It's a masterpiece compared to this. Easily. But yeah, the best I can give this movie is a light 3, but a strong 2.5, and that's mainly only because of the opera scene. It was just that good of a sequence and scene. But yeah, that's gonna be the CCR, revisiting Crow 94 and talking about Crow 2024. But whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably the thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you thought about The Crow. If you've seen it, going to see it, want to see it, don't want to see it, let us know what you think below. After you do all of that, you got to subscribe. And after you subscribe, you got to hit that notification bell so you can be notified of other CCRs, Boss Reacts, LTSN Cafe, and our long form podcast, Ninja Banter. Shout outs to the other Less Than Stealthy Ninjas, Cosmic Boss, or Run Your Miss. Shout outs to all the peeps in the chats. We even had Planet Nico, we had Tyke B, we had Mrs. Ladybug, and of course the ninjas all in there. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, love one another, take care of one another, look out for your mental, physical health. And hey, welcome to the Ninja Village. We welcome everybody here into this Ninja Village. And until then, Hollywood, just leave stuff alone. It's okay to come up with some new ideas. I promise y'all, it is perfectly fine to have new ideas. There was no reason to touch this with this. This was fine. I promise you this was fine. But until next time, y'all, thank y'all. Peace out. We just trying to make the Ninja Village proud, y'all. We out.